Good morning student. Now in this lecture we are going to see resource management of operating system. In our previous lecture we have seen the process management by the operating system. Now while execution of process it is the OS responsibility to provide required resources like some hardware or information are loading into the main memory to the next process into memory to increase the efficiency of CPU. That means when the process is going to be executed, then the process may be required for some input output devices, may be required for some extra space, may be required for some information, or may be required to load into memory in for your ready state. In this scenario, it is the responsibility of OS, it is the responsibility of operating system to provide all the necessary things to the process to be processed. Now, if CPU has no work and it is in rest or free, this is called ideal time of CPU, and OS must keep the CPU busy. That means the most efficient use of the CPU done by the operating system. This is called resource management of the operating system. Now, throughput is the term which is used to measure the efficiency of CPU, and the formula of throughput is number of job done divided by time taken. Suppose there are 10 jobs done in 20 millisecond, then then throughput will be 10 upon 20, that means 1.5 job per millisecond. This is the throughput of the CPU. Now next function is memory management. Now here memory management is used to allocate required memory to the process. That means, and also keeps track of allocated and unallocated memory. That means if we are going to manage the memory at the runtime of the program, then it is responsibility of the operating system that keep the track of the memory, what amount of memory is busy and what amount of memory is free, and what time of memory is going to be allocated to which process and at which time. Now some mostly used memory management techniques are single memory allocation, partition memory allocation, paged allocation, and segment memory allocation. Here if we are going to manage the memory or space, then we have to use some methods like single memory allocation, partition allocation, paged memory allocation, and segment memory allocation. Now see this one by one. In the first method, single memory allocation, in this technique the free memory is allocated to single application at runtime. That means the block of memory of is going to allocated for the single process, and other processes get hold for memory until the execution is over. That means if process P1 is allocated the memory block M1, then suppose that this is the memory block M1 and this is the process P1 or job J1, and if this process is occupied this space, then all the other process like P2 P3 will have to wait until the memory execution is over and memory is released by the CPU. This concept is called single memory allocation. Now second one is process partition allocation. Now in partition allocation, memory is divided into different areas, usually contiguous, called partition, and can be allocated as the requirement of process. Now here if we are going to see that, suppose that this is the memory block. Now this memory block is divided into different section. Suppose that this is your memory block M1, M2, M3. Now the single memory block is divided into three parts, and this is called partition of the memory. And now there are three processes can be done at a time. Now next memory allocation is paged memory allocation. In this technique, memory is divided into fixed size units called page frame or page, and required number of pages will be allocated to process. Suppose that yes, suppose that this is your memory block, then this is going to divided into frames. Suppose that page 1, page 2 and page 3. This is called paging of memory. And suppose that a process comes P1, a process P1 comes to the CPU and needs for 2 pages. That means suppose that each page is of 20 MB size. Now process P1 is required to 30 MB space or 40 MB space. Then 2 page will be allocated to that process. This concept is called paged memory allocation. I hope it is clear to you. Now next technique is segment memory allocation. Here memory is divided into logical units called segment, may or may not contiguous. A running process is allocated segment as needed. Here also the memory is divided into segment. That means in not the physical division done. Here the logical division will be done. This is called segment and may or may not be contiguous. Now see, if we are going to suppose that this is our memory block. This is our memory block, and now we are going to divide it into 3 or 4 partition. Now see, suppose that this is our of size 20 MB, this is our 50 MB, this is our 30 MB, this is our 15 MB. Now if any process needs 30 MB space, that means 30 MB space, then here P1 is occupied of this space. And suppose that there is a process P2 which required file 25 MB, that means 20 and 5 MB. This block is going to allotted for this memory. Now here 45 MB are left, are free, but now see, if any process P1 is going to executed and P1 required for 45 MB, then this will send to memory block 2. And if any other process P2 comes and that needs only 18 MB, that means this memory block is allocated. Now any other process P4 comes that is required 25 MB, then that will allocated in this memory. And here if any other process comes and required for 10 MB, then this block will be going to allocated. Now if we are going to see the here 5 MB left, here also 5 MB space is free, here also 5 MB, here also 5 MB. That means total 20 MB size are free. And now if any process requires for 10 MB data, sorry 10 MB space, then no block have 10 MB of size 10 MB memory, because these all are 555 MB. It may be 5, 7, 8, 9 MB, but this is the less than 10 MB. That means the process is not going to allocate any memory, but here we can add all the free space here and create a new block of 20 MB, and this 10 MB is allocated here. This 10 MB is allocated here. This process is going to allocate a new block M4 or M5 memory 5 block. This is the main management of memory by the operating system. Now next one is our input output management. When process requires an input output devices, then input output management will be done using some strategy. Suppose that when any process is going for the processing at the CPU, suppose that this is your CPU, this is your job 1, job 2. Now job 2 is in process and job 2 occupied scanner, and job 1 is also required for scanner. That means until and unless the job 2 will be executed and free the scanner, then this scanner is going to allocate with the J1. This type of management is called input output device management. Now I hope there is no confusion in this input output management. If you are going to see about suppose that this is your CPU, this is your job 1, this is your job 2, this is your job 3. Now when J1 is processed and occupied for any resource like required for printer, and J2 is also going to process and J2 is working on scanner. Now in this case, suppose that J3 is also going to process and require for printer. Now printer is occupied by J1 and scanner is occupied by J2 and J3 is waiting for printer. So until and unless J1 is going to be completed the job, when J1 will free the printer, then J3 will going to process, and J2 is already working with the scanner and also it's required the printer. That means all the three job are going to be in, first one is running in the running state and all the both two are in the waiting state. In this scenario, it is responsible to operating system that how to utilize these resources in an efficient manner. That means the job will be done in very less time and in very efficient manner, and no job is going to deadlock. So I hope you will clear the concept. Now one more thing is contiguous allocation of memory. Contiguous allocation, that means this type of allocation is called contiguous allocation. That means the division of in a same block. Now thank you for today.